Hi, everyone. My name is Anne-Marie Band. Today is January the 18th. It is a Thursday, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We are looking at the SPY taking a bounce. We've got, what do we have today? Jobless claims, housing starts, Philly Fed. Let's hope it's not like Empire. EIA, and, Nat Gas, and the Petroleum Report together. And then some bill announcements that should have some interesting effects. And then the Fed balance sheet, which, of course, we know is expounding exponentially. All right. Now, next, what we see here is pretty mighty bounce off of the close. This is the 4 a.m. candlestick that began printing a couple hours ago, and it is rocketing to the north. So, of course, buy the dip formations. We did hit 470. Is that the number that we stick at? You know, potentially we are making higher lows on the weekly. If we keep making, these higher lows on the weekly and we can break out of this heavy congestion above 475, it's going to be another upshot rocket back to 478, probably 480. But we shall see. Hard to say. Today, what we want to make sure of is that if we hold the floor, 472, as long as that holds, buyers will try to engage there. They will also try to engage above 474. That becomes our line in the sand. We've spoken about it. Take a look at how many days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today's the 8th day discussing 474 in the last 2 weeks. So that's a lot of sideways movement, and these wicks are getting very long, increased in volatility. Again, what do? We want to wait to see if it gets up over here. It could rocket up, so you could chase it. And you could also chase it down if it loses, but that's a slippery slope. You're going to have to be very careful trading today, truly. All right, first time negative pressure, less than positive pressure the day before. It's really been quite negative in days past. And so we have to sort of watch out for that, see what's going on. All right, so we have our levels. We know them well. They're the same during the week. This is all about trading level to level intraday formations where we buy the support, sell the resistance, regardless of whether we're getting into a trade or out of it. It's going to be exactly the same thing. Look at this moonshot. Insane. Right off the edge. $3 right up into this zone, breaching the close or open or high of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. This is kind of a big deal. I don't know what the news is. I'm going to have to check it out. But that being said, this is very bullish. Traders trading pre-market are going to want to take profit into the opening. So how we hold at the open tells us the strength of these pre-market traders that are holding. And so as they hold, here's what we have to do. When the day starts, we're going to see them taking some profit, wherever it is. If they lose the 409.85, it's going to try and fill the gap, right? Because this is going to be a huge gap in the daily chart if we're not looking at intraday motion like we do here. We're looking at aftermarket price action. They're going to want to fill this gap. It's going to be pretty big. So what we want to see is, do they expand and run the shorts out of town and just go straight up? That would be an exhaustion move. If it moves in one fell swoop to the upside, it will have a fade event on it. But move in the direction of trend and just know where your stop is, know where your risk is. That's pretty intense, that move. I have to go see what the news is. All right, here we are, 4774 to 4770. That really was the number of the day, wasn't it? I am going to remove this line. We'll leave it this at 468 and then, 4768 and then 4749. We're going to leave right where it sits because that is indeed the space. Now, today we've got higher lows, lower highs, but what is the chart doing? Look at 2 candles to the left. It is trying to move up into 4,800, right? What's in the way? Well, all these suckers right here, 4790. So you can see the chart kind of choking right here. People who are long, taking some profit. People who are short-minded saying, hey, I think I'm going to start shorting right here before the number. What did we just have a number? 7:30, he's speaking. 8:30. Sorry. My brain's a sieve. I can't remember anything. All right. So you can see it backing off of that edge because it's pulling back on those on these congestion levels, but with the higher low, watch the chart try to fade and then catch buyers somewhere around here near that 47.74-ish zone. But that is the floor. That's where the risk sits. If it loses that zone after punching all the way up through here, any bounces are likely to fail. That's just my thought. Yesterday, I expected it to hold 47.70. It just ran like the wind down into these deep levels. And then, just true to form, buyers bought the dip, as they have been, and we're back up in the range. If we take a look at a weekly chart, however, we can see that we are largely unresolved, and that means a ton of sideways motion. Let's look at the NQs. You have the levels there. Watch for them. Same sort of thing, running quite a bit hotter than the ES, of course. Where are they trying to get to? 17,000 and more. Okay, so did they come into 17,000? Yes, they came into 17,009. I'm going to pull this 64 edge down into 57 to 55. That's where I think the floor is here. Take a look at the noise. When you've got noise like this, it's going to be your edges that deliver results. So you're going to short at the very highs, and you're going to go long at the lows. And so here's what happens. Let's say my thought was it got to 16,760 or something like that yesterday. And indeed, it fell well below that, right? Just a savage fade. So once you get into a trade and you go, here's my long, the moment you start cresting lower at the first bounce, and then it crests lower, you get out. You don't wait. You don't go, it's coming back. You just go, I'm taking my loss right now. Because what it means is the moment it pierces it is, hey, one, I'm too weak to hold it. Two, I got to find something else. That's what you're looking for. That's the key that keeps your risk low. And then don't be afraid to get back in once it recovers the zone or at another area of congestion, right? Which to me really didn't start until about 7:30. Right? 16,730. That's where it started picking up again. And that would have been the long action up into, 811 gave this thing all kinds of monkey business. Truly, it did. And so we're going to put 808 as that new number there to watch. And then we'll see the buyers just don't get in front of this. Wait for it to crest and then begin to reverse. Then you can get into the trade. All right? Okay, everyone. Take care. Wait, my favorite buddy. Oil. Let's see what it's doing. Again, selling off the top. Yeah, still sideways. But something's happening, folks. You see this? This is forming a triangle. Is it ascending and is descending? I have no idea. But there is a big move coming in oil. It's big. This is a coiling compression, and it is going to explode either to the south or the north. It is coming. And then lastly, of course, you guys know I have all the lines in the sand here. I think the dollar, is affecting this a fair bit, but people are going to try and hold this 2,000 as a line in the sand. So keep watching for it. All right. Take care, everybody. I know it's a little long.